How's it going, everybody? Dynamic Gaming, aka Imperial Strike here with another Injustice 2 video. As of right now, Injustice 2 is standing in a really interesting spot because MK11 ended up coming out, and lo and behold, top level players not really necessarily having a ton of fun, many people still enjoying Injustice 2. For me personally, also fitting inside of that boat, maybe not on the high level player side, but at least on the enjoyment factor. I wanted to end up showing reasons why people are kind of enjoying Injustice 2, possibly more than MK11, even though it had some crazy faults and some crazy things to put up with. So for example, I ended up asking for someone's help today to end up showing off how different characters can deal with their options in both neutral situations, as well as understanding how to use normals, special moves, backdashes, jump attacks, to avoid specific situations that most players have a tendency to end up trying to use. So for example, I put a zoning character against someone that would be considered a rushdown character today. My purpose today is to end up showing off how, one, a character that is considered to be, safe on block, etc., that zones, actually has full combo punishable options, as well as an OSable wake up, and no one has really gone into the lab to ever end up learning it. So today, I'll start off first with the wake up options. So for every Robin player out there, any basic BNB normally ends up ending with this 2-1-2 string. Now yes, there is the option to air tech out of the string to try to combo Robin, but for these intensive purposes, I'm going to go with the idea that you're actually ending the combos with this string. Now the purpose of this string as of right now with Starfire is not to immediately rush in and then press more buttons like everyone thinks Robin should do or needs to do. Robin can actually OS all three of Starfire's different wake-ups. The first wake-up being the hair flip, which is her true wake-up, which is down back 2 and turns into an overhead. If I knock Starfire down and I take a half a step back and I use the string 1-2 with Robin, I actually punish not only her hair flip, but also her back forward 2 and her down back 3, the disco lights and the little backflip attack. So we'll go over them one at a time. So first, I'm just going to do it as a demonstration. I'm going to end up punishing the hair flip first. And into the exact same situation again. So as you saw there, I ended up doing it a little bit too late and or early. It takes a little bit of timing and practice. But in this specific situation, the answer is not to immediately rush in, rush in, rush in. It's actually to wait a half a second and hold back only for a little bit to then punish a fully invincible wake up that allows me to actually control the pace of the match once I'm up close. And even if she spends the bar, I'm still punishing her. Now I'm going to do the exact same string and setup, and this time, would you be able to wake up with down back 3 for me, please, which would be the disco light. It's supposed to be an anti-air attack, and this time I'm going to do the exact same setup. Oh, I dropped the combo, but point being, you can still end up punishing the entire part of her spin using the string 1-2. Now let's talk about the harder wake up, and this is actually something you can react to if you actually practice it. And this will be using your standing 1, which actually has an invisible hitbox on it to stuff out back forward 2, which is considered to be one of her most annoying tools in the game. So if I end up ending a combo with this string, I take a little bit of a step walk back and I time it correctly, my standing 1-2 will also stuff out this wake up. So I'm going to end up asking Legend Shinzo here to end up waking up with back forward 2. And do it again. And ta-da! I have stuffed all 3 options using the exact same technique. At this point is when Robin can now start playing his real game plan. If you end up playing a Starfire, that now realizes they cannot just continuously abuse their wake-up attacks. They are then forced to backdash, they are then forced to end up jumping, they're forced to end up doing something else besides just waking up. You've now covered all 3 options. In this situation is where Robin now becomes dangerous, because if the opponent does decide to backdash, he has amazing tools to end up punishing them, which would be back 2 being one of his best. Of course, you can always chase it down with a jump attack, but if she does still decide to wake up, then sometimes the jump attack may get beat out. That's why I'd highly recommend just giving yourself a little bit of space and a little bit of time to think through your decisions. The next couple parts I want to talk about are zoning. So in this specific matchup, many people say that Robin really suffers to zoning, which in this matchup, the mind game works like this. If Starfire is really trying to do damage, she has to end up committing to try to end up throwing sparkles. Because besides that, I can end up just squatting and walking all day, and her straight beam and her down forward one will both whiff over my head. Now this is where we get to another really interesting part though. Her straight beam, which is her trait, her standing 4, it's actually full combo punishable by many characters in the cast when she does not have meter to enhance it. So if I'm standing at about this distance, I can full combo punish a standing 4 trait with back 2-1. And this is an actual punish, if I get the timing correct. Oh, I didn't have the spacing correct that time. Do it again for me. Now, of course, at that specific spacing, it might have even been better to use a DP, but it's just going to depend on your spacing for how close you are to Starfire. But what the purpose I'm showing here is that many characters in the game, from a reachable distance, have some type of special move or normal that can actually reach and full combo punish Starfire for using these options. The last one that I do want to end up speaking on, and this one's a little bit more high risk, high reward, is actually getting the process of Robin from full screen to actually being in front of Starfire. And he has a couple ways to do this safely, as well as also possibly keep him the ability to press down 1 or still basically have his turn. One of them being his instant air flip. If it hits and he ends up hitting it, he gets a full combo launch into the exact same knockdown situation, 2-1-2, walk back, 1-2, OS, all 3 wake ups. He can also end up using this flip because on block, many people don't know this, the enhanced flip in the air is neutral on block. And Robin happens to be one of the characters that has a 6 frame down 1 in the game, which means that if Starfire ends up blocking this, even if I don't get the punish on a read of a projectile, I still get to end up pressing down 1. And if Starfire is not frame perfect, because she also has a 6 frame down 1, she's getting full combo launched. But if she is frame perfect, best case scenario, we trade. And even then, I am still in her face, and I'm now giving myself a way better fighting chance in the situation. So I'm going to emulate a little example for how this is going to work. What's going to happen is Starfire is going to start shooting, I guess call it the sparks. Yes, we're going to call them sparks. And if she starts throwing the sparks out, and I'm making reads, moving back and forth, just waiting for my opportunity, and I end up throwing that out there at the correct time, and I end up closing that space, it becomes immediately an actual option for me to punish Starfire using XYZ option, whether I want to end up full combo punishing her, whether I want to go for a setup, or whatever option that Robin player wants to go for. The purpose of it is to end up getting you in. In this specific matchup from full screen, your only other better option against a full screen Stardust is actually to react with a full screen charge. If she does not commit to using her trait and you react to her throwing that little spark out, you can actually punish her from most distances on the screen. Even if you think that you're not going to get the punish, you can at least close the distance and cancel it, and now you're in an actual neutral-based game again, which allows her to actually think, and if she tries to commit and instantly uses her trait after you've canceled it, the trait will whiff, and it allows you to end up getting a full combo punish yet again. The last part of Starfire's game plan revolves around her ability to end up using jump attacks, which would be her instant jump 3 and her jump back 3. Both options, in addition to, yes, having the cross up, etc., can also leave her plus on block or more negative on block. If a Starfire player tries to end up jumping in from a farther distance and they're on the way up with their jump attack and it says mid, for example, like it just did there on screen, it's still going to end up being negative on block, which allows me to actually press buttons first. If the Starfire player is just instantly doing that and they're not actually thinking about doing a deep jump attack, you actually have the ability, as Robin and other characters in the game as well, to full combo punish her if she attempts to throw out on any other button, even her down one. The alternate option here is whenever she ends up doing a deep jump attack. If she does a deep jump attack, she will be plus on block, meaning that she gets to press her down one out first. But the risk here is that Robin has an amazing 8-frame down 2 that reaches to the skies. If you are playing as Robin in this matchup, you will actually be able to end up anti-airing her pretty consistently from most distances on screen. Your other option as well, if you are making the read, is to end up DPing, and that does allow you to end up getting a full combo. But I'm showing just the majority of quicker options that most people are going to end up being able to react to that, in my opinion, are 110% doable. I believe I've covered pretty much every option for the general public to end up starting to abuse, but I'm going to start releasing way more videos like this and more to end up showing off tech for any character in the game for multiple matchups. If you guys want me to cover a specific matchup and options to end up covering a character, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will be playing a little bit more of MK11 again, not as much as Injustice 2. I do enjoy the game a lot more, and you might even start seeing some playthroughs going through on my channel. Thank you so much for everything. Feel free to like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.